what's up? Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to look at some insane tips and tricks to level up your new Zenler page. Let's get started. Alright, before I show you the behind the scenes on how to do this, let me show you the front end final product. Again, this page is built on Zenler. I will drop the link to this page in the description, and I also have a video on how to create a page like that I will link to, so check out that video here or here. My video editor will put it somewhere. Alright, with that, you can see that there is a gradient animated effect on my headline here. This is not natively possible through Zenler. So that's the first thing I want to show you. Next one is, oh, did you catch it? I don't know if you did. How about now? While scrolling, you can see I have this effect happening in the back end, which is called parallax effect. So it almost gives you that little depth perception. So I'll show you how to do that in your Zenler page. And then continuing with our gradient theme, you will notice that there is a gradient button that's also animated right here. So I'll show you how to do that as well. And then finally, this is my checkout page, and I was able to pull it off. I can't believe this worked, but you can see on the checkout page, I have an order bump. Not only do I have an order bump, I have an order bump that has a gradient text that's pulsating. So let's walk through the steps on how to do this. All right, so the first thing you want to do is you want to grab the code that's behind this block of text. Now, I did this a little harder way, but that's the tip for you so you can shortcut your learning. Instead of having all of this in this one big block here, like I have it, what I would recommend is you break this up into a shorter block. So let's just do it in here, and let's add 100% element. I'm not going to show you how exactly to add this stuff because I have shown this before, but what I would recommend is separating it out like this. And what this does is it gives you a lesser piece of code to work with. Once I'm done with that, what I would recommend, and this is exactly how I did it, is you grab the code here. So each block in Zenler has a code. Grab that code, put it in your favorite AI tool. For this one, I used ChatGPT-4o, and this was my prompt. Find the text in the code below and update the code to make that text gradient color. Now, the first response I got back, and this is tip number 2, don't settle for the first response. The first response I got back was to add the gradient color, update this h1 tag, and then you add some CSS. I'm like, no. Update the full code to add the gradient and then give it back to me. I want the full code. I don't want to mess around and look for just that one line of text. So then I got this full piece of code. It did it, and then I moved on to the next one. So that was how I did that first text piece. Now, if you go back to the page, the next one was this parallax effect here. So what I did here on the editor is I added this block, I gave it an image, and you can see in our editor there's no parallax effect. Let me show you what prompt I gave ChatGPT to get that parallax effect. Here's my prompt for that parallax effect. It says, I have a section on my page that has an image. I would like to apply parallax effect to this section. Here's the code from the section. Don't give me CSS, just update the code to apply the parallax effect. So it did that. It gave me the code without any CSS. And the reason why I didn't want CSS is because then I have to go and update the code in 2 different places, which means first I have to update the background code here. Then I have to go to the page settings and apply that CSS code here. And I just didn't want to maintain that in 2 different places. And that was really the only reason why I didn't want CSS. But sometimes you do need it to achieve the results. So just keep that in mind. It's not always going to be no CSS. It's really easy. And if you get stuck, you can just ask ChatGPT, how do I update this code on my page? Where do I put it? With that, let's go to our third one, which was the button. Now, before I get to the third one, if you didn't see my last video, I also show you how to apply this cool shadow effect here, which was really easy to do, but not something that you could do natively out of Zenler. Just keep that in mind. And then we're going to do one new effect live, so you get to see my interaction with ChatGPT. So this is our button, which has this gradient effect here. So let's hop back over to ChatGPT and I'll show you what that code looks like. So my prompt to ChatGPT was, there is a button in this code that's black in color. I want to apply animated slow gradient colors to that button with shades of orange and purple. Now you can change the colors yourself, but what it came back with, here's the updated button code. So replace this code with this, then add the CSS to your page to add that color and or add the gradient and the animation. I tried that, didn't work. I said, that didn't do anything. Can you just update the entire code instead of using CSS? Again, don't take ChatGPT or any other AI tool that you use, its first response at face value. Challenge it, right? So after it did that, it gave me the piece of code. Now you're not seeing this because it did that in Canvas, and that's where all the tweaking happened. And Canvas is not something we're going to cover for this video, but just search on how to use the Canvas function in ChatGPT. So those were all the changes on my Zenler page. Then I was like, okay, let's push the envelope and do more changes on the Zenler checkout page. So let me show you that interaction. Now the checkout page was a bit tricky because when you edit the checkout page in Zenler, you can see these changes being applied. But when you preview it, Zenler strips out those changes, and rightfully so. So disclaimer, big, huge disclaimer here. Do not mess with your checkout page unless you know exactly what you're doing, and do this at your own risk. Zenler is not going to support this. I am not going to support it. There is no support for this. This is you hacking it, making it work. So just bear that in mind if you mess your checkout page. With that, for the adventurers out there, here's how I did it, right? So I said, there's a text on this page called XYZ. That was my order bump text, which is this exact text right here. So I copied that text and I pasted it. I said, update the code below to apply gradient animation to that text. And to get that code, I went into this entire checkout page block, grabbed this entire piece of code and pasted it inside of ChatGPT. The only difference is this time I was playing with 4.5 model instead of 4o because I knew that any edits to the checkout page are going to be a little bit more difficult than my regular sales page or marketing funnel page in Zenler. So ChatGPT did its magic, updated the code, and let's scroll down to where it updates the code. I feel like a bunch of this code shouldn't be there. I don't know how important it is, but what it did is it says, okay, I've updated this, add this CSS to your page. Again, to add the CSS, you would go to the page settings and add CSS here. Do this only if you know what you're doing, or you might mess up your entire checkout page. Then it said to update the existing HTML, and essentially I had to find this piece of code in my HTML and update it. Now I can go and ask ChatGPT what line this code is on, because if I go to my editor, you will see on the left side there are numbered lines. So I could go and ask what line that code was on instead of searching for it, but I just use Notepad++, and in here I can hit Control F and search for a specific piece of code. So that made it easy. And then what I replied back is that didn't do it, because what was happening is Zenler was stripping it on the preview page and I didn't realize that. So then we went through a few more iterations and then I just gave up and I said, now let's just add a slight grow animation. Once it added the animation is when I realized that it's working in edit mode but not working in preview mode. So then I went back in preview mode, and in preview mode on your browser you can click on view page source. I copied this entire source and then I pasted that inside my ChatGPT chat and I said, here's the page source from the final preview page where the animation is not working. This is where the magic happened. So again, don't give up if you really want to try something inside of your Zenler school and you know that you can make it work. Keep trying, and maybe after the 5th or the 6th time, if it's still not working, maybe it's time to move on, or send me a message, maybe I can help you. So at that point, ChatGPT realized that based on the page source you have provided, the issue is that your class gradient animated text was removed in the final rendered HTML on preview. And it even showed me that this is my original, and then in the preview, that class is getting removed. So instead of hitting the class, ChatGPT said, okay, let's hit the unique ID. Because if I go back to my file, most of these elements here have a unique ID, and you can see that right here, like data unique ID. So ChatGPT had a brilliant idea, and now if I was a programmer who knew HTML and CSS, I might have the same idea, but I'm not. And that's why we use these tools. So what ChatGPT is saying here is, because this was stripped, your custom CSS is loading correctly, but without the matching class, your animation won't run. So let's go with a reliable solution to get around this restriction. Let's target the ID without needing extra classes. So then it gave me the updated CSS code. I went back into my page settings here and I updated that CSS code here. Once I did that, I also updated this file here, or actually it says just leave it as is. And that's it. That did the trick and added that grow animation to my checkout page. This is massive. And there you have it. That is how you can start leveling up your Zenler pages using AI. Use it to your advantage. And if you like this video, don't forget to smash that subscribe button so you get notified next time I release a video. Also check out the description for some cool bonuses if you're signing up for Zenler through my subscription. My affiliate link will be in that description. If you get through my affiliate link, I'm going to hook you up with my ZZ templates, which has 200 plus pre-made pages for your Zenler school. With that, keep creating and I will catch you in the next video.